All right, so today we're not here for a sermon. We're here to do some philosophy. We're going to put on our logic hats and take a really close look at the nature of the Buddha or the Tathagata. And what's fascinating is how these ancient thinkers used pure reason to try and define something that, well, is supposed to be beyond definition.
And that right there is the central puzzle, isn't it? I mean, how can you possibly have a rational conversation about something if its whole deal is that it's beyond words and thought? It feels like a total paradox. But what if there's actually a logical system specifically designed to solve this exact problem? Well, it turns out there is. Our guide for this whole deep dive is an ancient text, the Maharatnakuta Sutra. That's the Sutra of the Great Heap of Jewels. And this scripture isn't just making some vague, mystical claims. It actually lays out a super detailed philosophical blueprint for how to approach the transcendent using logic. So, how does the sutra do it? It doesn't just throw up its hands and say, "It's a mystery." Nope. It gives us a structured analytical framework. It's a list of what it calls the 10 inconceivable qualities. And this is our roadmap. Here are the first 6 of them: the body, the voice, wisdom, light, precepts, and powers. The text goes through each one, piece by piece. Now, for our analysis, we're going to zoom in on 2 of these, the body and wisdom, because they really let us unpack the incredible philosophical method that's at work here. Okay, let's start with the body. The approach the sutra takes is a classic philosophical move that you actually see all over the world. It's called apophatic theology, or more simply, the path of negation. The idea is you define something not by saying what it is, but by systematically clearing away everything that it is not. And this quote from the text just nails it. Gets right to the heart of the method. Right off the bat, it rules out the 2 main ways we understand anything, through its physical shape and through our own thinking mind. Both are off the table. And the sutra is just relentless in this process. Look at how systematic it is. It's not made of flesh and bone. Check. It's not part of our normal reality. Check. It's not even bound by time, past, present, or future. And then it gets really personal. You can't see it, you can't hear it, you can't touch it, and you can't even think about it or be conscious of it. It's literally stripping away every single category we have for what a body is supposed to be.
And the contrast this creates is just crystal clear. On one side, you've got the ordinary body, the one we know. It's conditioned, it's made of stuff, it has a form, and it's always changing. But on the other side, the text posits the Tathagata's body as the logical opposite of all that. Unconditioned, non-material, formless, and totally unchanging. It even uses this incredible term, shukongshen, which you could translate as space body, just to hammer home how boundless and intangible it is.
So you might be thinking, okay, if it's not a thing, how do I even think about it? And the text gives us these beautiful analogies, but they're very precise. Think about it: an image in a mirror or the moon's reflection on water. They're there, right? You can see them, but they have zero substance. You can't grab them, they're not the thing itself. So these aren't definitions, they're pointers, designed to get our minds to stop thinking so literally. And this brings us to the absolute linchpin of the entire argument. This is the philosophical climax. Because after establishing a reality that's beyond form and beyond thought, the sutra has to answer the big question: how could anyone ever know it? The answer, and this is brilliant, lies in making a sharp distinction between 2 different ways of knowing. So yeah, that's the million-dollar question. If you can't sense it or think it, are we just stuck? The text says no. It says the problem is we're trying to use the wrong tool. It argues we have 2 totally different mental faculties. There's consciousness, or sure, which is our everyday thinking mind, and then there's wisdom, or chur, which is a fundamentally different mode of knowing. Okay, this table is everything. This is the key that unlocks the whole logical puzzle. On the one hand, you've got consciousness. That's our regular mind. Notice how it needs an object. It has to arise from something. It's always discriminating, chopping things up into this and that. It's caught up in cause and effect. But then look at wisdom. It's presented as a faculty that works completely independently of objects. It doesn't discriminate, it doesn't conceptualize, it just knows, directly. See? They're 2 different tools for 2 very different jobs. So now we can finally put all the pieces together. And once you understand that critical difference between wisdom and consciousness, the term inconceivable totally changes. It stops being some vague mystical claim and becomes a sharp, precise, logical conclusion. Yeah, when we hear inconceivable or busui in the original text, our first instinct is to think it just means it's a mystery, stop thinking, just believe. But that is absolutely not the philosophical point that's being made here. It's actually a technical term. Inconceivable means that which cannot be grasped or processed by the specific faculty of consciousness, shik. It's a rational classification. It's no different than saying you can't see radio waves with your eyes. That isn't a mystical statement, right? It's just a fact about the limits of that specific tool, your eyes. The sutra is making the exact same argument about our ordinary mind.
So, let's just quickly retrace this amazing logical path we've been on. First, the text posits a reality that's beyond our normal experience. Second, it uses that technique of negative definition to talk about it without boxing it in. Third, and this is the game changer, it carefully separates our everyday consciousness from this other tool, wisdom. And that leads directly to the final, perfectly rational conclusion that Tathagata is inconceivable but specifically to the faculty of consciousness. And this leaves us with a really fascinating question to just sit with. This whole ancient logical exercise, it's not really just about defining some faraway transcendent being. It's actually a profound commentary on how we know anything at all. By exploring a reality defined by what it isn't, maybe what we really learn about is what our own consciousness is, and, more importantly, what its limits are. Thanks for digging into this with me.